place and they were getting a apartment condo built, and they were retired, so they were downsizing, but it was a new apartment condo. And I double-ended the property, and Bill was the owner's name, Bill and Erla. Bill comes up to me and I said that we had the offer and the possession dates didn't line up. And he just said, oh, no problem, we're just gonna live in the RV for a month. It was summertime, so they said, don't worry about it, right? I had another time where somebody said, oh no, we want this because the money's good, don't worry about the dates, we're just gonna go put our stuff in storage and go on a holiday, or I'm gonna go stay at my brother's, or they're not as picky when you get them to follow your instructions.
Yes.
Right? They're not as picky. When you do it backwards, they're always so picky, and you spend so much time. And the big question comes down to you. Do you want to work 80 to 100 hours a week doing 10 deals a year? Or do you want to work 40 hours a week or less doing 50 deals a year?
Yeah.
And your clients love you, by the way.
Yeah.
They just love you because you're so efficient. Right? The ones that seem to complain, and you do everything you can, and even if you're successful, you can never make them happy, they still won't use you again, or they'll complain about you anyways. So just let them go, and if you know you're going to lose them on Friday, you may as well lose them on Tuesday or Wednesday. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So back when we're talking to somebody, our approach is, if you phone and get voicemail, it's to what? Hang up. Now they answer, right? So if you know their name, who you're calling, then identify the prospect. We said that last week. Once you say that, then introduce yourself. It's mandatory according to RICA that you have to identify yourself as a realtor. Right, unless it's a personal call. Make sense?
Yes.
So you say, this is Dwayne, and have ABC. And then you ask or eliminate. So make sure you put ask or eliminate there. Ask if they want to, if they're just selling, or eliminate. Because I mentioned that a minute ago, right? You can do one or the other, but I like the eliminate one myself. Do you like it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they'll say what? In step 3, when you ask or eliminate, what are they going to say every time for sure?
No.
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 So then you give them a reason. Reason for calling. My reason for calling is, I'm going to give you 10 different reasons. But you might be just door knocking looking for a listing. My reason, so I just wanted to make sure you weren't thinking of selling, are you? No. The reason I came by is looking for some more houses to sell in the area. I know this is a good area that people want. So it's just the same. That you got to kind of get that note away and give a reason. And even if they say yes, if you go, I just wanted to make sure you're not thinking of selling, are you? You go, yeah, actually we are. We just started talking about it today. And just say, yeah, my ears are ringing. So so the reason I came by wasn't that. I'm just kidding, but I just listed it. So you still give the reason if they say yes or no. And if they say no again, then you ask them again, but a different way. So do you want to sell? No. Well, the reason I came by is we got another listing. You might have more buyers. Would you sell if you got the right price? No, we're good. Okay, well, thanks for your time. Oh, by the way, and what do you say?
Do you know of anyone else?
Now this one here, if you got a yellow highlighter or if you want to underline it or circle it, do that right now. Very important. How many of you would like to give yourself a 20% raise right now? Then every time you talk to somebody, you always ask them that. What is it?
Do you
know
know
of
anyone
anyone
else?
It's amazing. Most realtors don't ask it. No, we don't want to sell right now. Okay, thanks. Right? We might buy next year. Okay, great. We'll talk to you then. And they're gone. Right? All I want you to do is they say, well, next year, this, you say, oh, okay. Oh, by the way, do you know of anyone else? And sometimes you get a what?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. Oh, here's my card. Give it to them. Or do you have their number? If they don't mind, I'll call them. And sometimes they say, yeah, he wouldn't mind at all, right? But the question is, are you going to ask every time? Turn to the person beside you and tell them if you are or not.
Yes. Yes.
Are you gonna ask him?
I didn't see you.
You better.
You didn't tell them.
Yeah.
Did you write that down there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I'm watching all of you. But I've just been teaching so long, it breaks my heart when I see if somebody just doesn't write down just one little thing. Because I know there's so much more what?
Money.
Yeah.
And less
Less
time.
time.
Get to close more.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, It's incredible, this business, when you do all these little things. You'll come back, one of you will come back and say, I just said that one thing, I can't believe it, I got a listing, and oh my God, it was like, these stories you're going to hear are just, and this is just with a small group. You see when one time I had a class of 80 people, you had 8-star stories up there, or 7 or whatever teams I had, but it's, we can do it too. We can have some amazing stories with just one little thing. I left a voicemail. They called me back. I couldn't believe it. Dwayne was right. But it's not really me that's right. It's this training. I'm the messenger. I'm just the guy that's delivering the message, right? But I did do it, by the way, as a realtor also with huge success. So let's see here. I think I just want to make a point about, or I want to give you the reasons for calling, then I want to do a quick role play, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so let's give you some reasons. So what did I say? Oh, thanks for a little ooh there. What did I say was some of the reasons that you might be door knocking or calling somebody already? Because you just listed
I
property?
got a real estate matter.
That was one, right? So you're notifying a neighbor to listing, an NTL? That's one. What was another reason you might be
Neighbor
door
to
knocking or
neighbor.
phoning?
Looking for
Neighbor
a
to
listing.
sign.
You're looking for a listing? Yeah, that comes up soon. The next one was actually that you just sold it and you're doing it again. I had one guy, I went to his house, I don't know, maybe it was on the phone. Sometimes it's hard for me to remember the stories exact because I've been a trainer for 20 years. And I think it was on the phone. Called him. He wasn't nice at all. He didn't swear, because if he did I would have hung up, but he was not nice. You know, he's grumpy. Why are you calling? I said, well, I'm just calling to see if you want to sell. No, I don't. No, I don't want you guys calling me. I said, no problem. The reason I called is we just listed a house and I won't bother you. I said, unless when it sells, do you want to know the price? And he goes, yeah, would you? And he was really nice all of a sudden.
That
You know?
happens.
It's funny how people can change their tone, so don't take it all too personal. Can you do that, gang?
Yes.
Just don't. There's certain people just treat people like that, you know, and sometimes, you know, these little things I mentioned, hey, would you sell if you got the right price? Or, I just want to make sure you weren't thinking of selling. Or, you know, my ears were ringing and just being, having fun in life. I think how we are, like, if you're having a bad day, don't phone anybody.
That's true.
Don't door knock.
That's very true.
Restrict how much you're around people, period, especially your family. Be alone, shake it off. What would you do to get out of that state? Go to sleep again, or what else? Go to the gym,
Go to the gym.
what else?
Go for a walk.
Walking it.
I'm glad, don't say alcohol and drugs, but, you know, have a good meal. Maybe there's one person you can talk to that cheers you up all the time, but you don't want to bring them down, you know, so. But, you know, we're not always cheery all the time, are we?
No.
True. Very
You know, I mean, sometimes I can feel myself, I usually am about here, and some days I get up here because it's just amazing, and about maybe once a month for me, I go a little bit low, and I can feel the whole day, I can't shake it. I'll go to the gym, I'll do that, I'll say to my wife, I don't know what it is, I'm just down here, and I can't get up there, I don't even feel like trying anymore. You know, so I know, you know, you gotta notice your own patterns of behavior. Mine's about once a month. You know, I mean, when I was younger, it was probably, I don't know, maybe about the same. But I've seen some people, it's every day almost, or every second day. I knew somebody that just seemed like always everything was not working for them. They were always, you know, complaining and all that stuff. But we can't do that. So anyways, back on the reasons. We're calling, or we came by to let you know. The reason we came by is we just listed a house, or we just sold a house, right? Or we have a what?
Client.
We have a client. Now, remember, a lot of us that aren't trained in the room might say, well, the client might say, the potential seller might say, well, bring them by, they want to buy it, and they want to pay, then, but just so we're all clear on something. If anybody asks you, like a FSBO or a private sale says, bring them, you say, I only work on properties that are on the market. I only work on properties that are on MLS. And I'm going to get you to sit, Peter will say it to me, everybody else say it to the person beside you. I only work on properties that are on MLS. Say that right now.
I only work on properties that are on MLS.
Okay. So you have a potential buyer, bring them by. If they like it and want to give us what we want, then maybe we'll sell it. I only
work on properties that are on
MLS. So, and then your next sentence would be, so if you really do want to sell, let's set a time where I can go over everything for you and we can talk about putting it on the market. No, I don't want to put it on the market. For some reason, this buyer who they don't know at all is the only person in the whole planet they're going to sell to. No, it's not going to happen. They're not going to sell to that person either. So you're just wasting your
Time.
So you only work on properties that are on
MLS.
period. Right? So you brand new people especially, I hope you're feeling this relief in you, like, wow, if I do real estate the right way, I'll make money faster, I'll work fewer hours. Don't be somebody that says, you know what, I'm going to try to give people deals so I get more business, and I'm trying to find a deal for the investor, and I'm going to maybe tell people we could try to get them a higher price for their home, and all that stuff. All that's gonna happen is you're gonna be busy making no money for the first year, and in the second year, if you don't turn it around, you're gonna quit. It's pretty blunt, hey Peter? But
Yes,
it's true, isn't it?
very true.
Breaks my heart. So let's stick with the little things. Okay, gang? Client approach. You came by to notify somebody about an open house. You came by, or you're following up on a newsletter, could be past clients. Or you're following up on a social media or a website inquiry, an input form in your inbox, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So I taught it, now I'm going to show you how to role play, and then Peter and I, you'll be my partner, Peter, and you two can just role play here, you two here, and you two in the back, and you two, okay? But I want you to see how it is. Now remember, we're on the phone, so you really don't have to turn and look at the person. You can actually turn aside, you can just put your hand to your, and what you're doing is going ring, ring, and the other person says hello. And you'll say, don't say their name, because let's say you don't know it. Let's say you're just calling, well, you know, if you have an input form, okay, let's say we're doing an input form. Some of you are getting leads by input forms, right? Pay-per-clicks or, you know, something from your website or whatever, okay? Okay, so let's pretend, so you say, hello, is this Joe? Or hi Joe, this is Dwayne with ABC Realty. And you just say, now, let's pretend that it's an input form that, now the problem is what I'm about, there's so many different scenarios, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like there's one scenario where it's just a flat out cold call in a sense. There is a tool that you can use, it costs you about $300 a month, I'll tell you what it is. What it does is it helps you to get all the phone numbers in a neighborhood that are not on the do not call list. Okay, it'll cost you about $300. Okay, it costs $280 for the do not call list, and it costs about $20 for their system, and you can write this down. It's called telelisting.net. What's it called?
Telelisting.net.
How do you spell it?
T-E-L-L.
T-E-L-E. T-E-L-E, right? Listing.net. It's only one L. Okay, so you go there, open up an account, right? It's $280 a month, $20, and what you do is you go and you put in an address, maybe it's yours, and you just take the cursor and make a little square, gray thing, and then it shows all the, depends how big or small you go with it, and it shows all the numbers in that area. And then the ones in red you can't call, so you can click a button and all the red ones disappear. And on average, about 25% of the homes will have phone numbers that you can call. Okay, you can check it out. And then when you call, let's pretend we're doing a cold call, even though you can't do this for your whole career, so you may only use telelisting for your first year, and you may not need it after that if you want to do cold calls. I'd say they can be warm calls because you have a reason for calling, but they're really just cold calls. They're not fun, lots of rejection, and it can be followed like this. You say, ring, ring, hello, yes, this is Dwayne with ABC Realty. I was just calling to make sure you're not thinking of selling your house, are you? And they say, no, we're not. Why? Oh, the reason I called is we're just looking for more inventory in the neighborhood. People like this area. Would you sell if you got the right price maybe? And they say, no, we're not interested. Okay, well, thanks for your time. Oh, by the way, do you know of anybody else thinking of selling? And they say, no. That's the first role play. As soon as you're done that, don't switch. Put up your hand, and then I'm going to give you another one for the person to switch. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay, so Peter, you can just come up here if you want to turn off the camera. And you and I'll just